Steve Evans, 3-1 defeat. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think it's very difficult to come to Stoke City at any time, but to go 1-0 down in 2 minutes with brilliant support behind you is disappointing. It's not what we're about. You know, it's 2 mistakes. We lose the header and we lose the runner, and it's 1-0. And then you do have an uphill task. You're thinking, don't concede a second, because then it could be a long day, because they've got very good players on the pitch and a very talented manager instructing from the side. So that makes it difficult. But when we got to half time, we changed the shape, we changed the system. We said we're going to go and believe. And we did believe. There's nothing in the second half. We get the goal. We're 1-1. We're comfortable. So we just give the ball away sloppily in the edge of our box. You know, it's no point in me identifying people who it is. People can see it. But it goes 2-1. Then we don't get a penalty, which for handball was the referee's excuse to the players was it was hand by his side. I've just seen a rerun of it. His arm's out. It's a penalty. And then from he gives Stoke City a penalty. I'm looking straight on it. It's never a penalty. It's a great challenge. He gives it. He's then watching the replay as we kick off and run about telling my players he got it wrong. How does that motivate my players to come back in a cup tie? Somebody needs to explain that. Just he gets it wrong. Referees get things wrong. I get things wrong, you know, and we all get things wrong. Players do, but you don't run about rubbing people's face in it when there's a cup tie. Still get 15 minutes to go, and I'd love to have seen the opportunity to be 2-1 and. You've seen that last few minutes from added time, but I'd love to have seen that a little bit earlier. If it had been 2-1, I think they would have been a little bit nervous. And we were testing them. We had movement up front, but the referee effectively kills the cup tie. But we made some mistakes today that are not customary for us as well. So we'll take the disappointment. We're very proud of our efforts in the FA Cup. But I've just said there on television, if people said to me, what do you remember of this cup tie? I'll tell you what I remember from Gateshead, Jordan Roberts' goal. I'll tell you what I remember from going to Kings Lynn, Jamie Reid's goal. And so you always remember that. I'll tell you what I remember from Aston Villa, Dean Campbell's goal. I'll tell you what I remember for today. A penalty that's not a penalty to kill the cup tie, and the referee running about telling my players, I've got that wrong, it's not a penalty. Somebody needs to answer it. Heard Webb done a podcast with me on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday this week. Phone me tomorrow, Heard. Phone me tomorrow and explain why a referee runs about telling players after watching the screen. Should he be watching the screen or watching the game? The game's kicked off. You've seen the reaction. Stoke fans are good people. Have turned up in good numbers. We've had incredible support. You heard the whole ground go. I can't do the sound, but it's like, ooh, because they know it's just a shocking decision. But I think it's my players were really halting the fact that he would run about saying, I got it wrong.
Have you had a chance to speak to the referee?
No, I'll go in, but you know, you'll have a big championship game next week. Not got blink. Someone needs to know why a referee runs about and tell my players I've got that horribly wrong. I didn't say horribly. I've just got it wrong. Did he not get the decision wrong not to send the 18 off? I said, I've got nothing against. I don't want any player in the football world sent off. He's on a yellow. He said 2 fouls. Now it's a mandatory caution for me. Referee gives him a tick and 2, and Alec knew immediately next to me and another Glaswegian. So straight away, get him off because he'll get sent off. He should have been off. So Alex, you know, that was a little bit fortunate, and but we'll go away with a disappointment. Still proud of the camp, proud of the players. We'll freshen up, and we'll get ready for Sutton.
Did you feel that after the penalty decision, there was an opportunity for him to maybe level it up? You always want the right decision given, but it's probably just an equal shout for a penalty at the other end when Jake Taylor was brought down.
There's a penalty for handball for us. There's a penalty that he gives up the other end. Jake Taylor puts his body across in front of between the ball and the man. The man goes through the back of them. Jake Taylor says, well, if that other one's a penalty, this is a penalty. And he went, yeah, but I got that one wrong. And, you know, that was his excuse for running about all afternoon, that I got your penalty wrong. Does that motivate my team, making it 3-1? Or does it kill any motivation that my players have got to go and try and fight a cup tie? But, you know, listen, they'll get a big game next week, and he'll be told he's great when he goes to St George's tomorrow.
I know it's been a good cup run, and you go to Villa Park and you win that. You've got to reflect on the cup run that's been a real success. But is it almost a blessing? I know you won't see it that way at the moment, but you know you've got the league to concentrate on now, and really give that a good go.
It's not a blessing. We'll live this all night, but of course we move on tomorrow. We bounce back in tomorrow and we go again. But you know, I think someone has to give us some decisions. We're quite a proud football club, a real proud football club with a proud owner. He'll want me to be explaining why a referee runs about telling my players I got that wrong. But surely that's the minimum we deserve for somebody in authority to call us and say, on the replay on the screen, I've got that horribly wrong. It's 3-1, the cup tie, most likely over. But am I proud of the players? Absolutely. We're proud of what we're achieving, yes. But we know we've got real tough 2 away games coming up. Go to Sutton, go to Wimbledon. Both a good form, both won yesterday. Both are good wins for me. So we'll be tested over the next 4 or 5 weeks. But, you know, we'll regroup, we'll go again. And if we can have the objective every game, our objective coming here today was arrive with pride, leave with pride. I think if you're one of Stoke City fans, you probably go away thinking, maybe just tad lucky today when they see it all back, tad lucky. And but we're out, and that's the nature of the cup. And if it had happened for us, we'd have accepted and got on the coach and not look back. So Alex will drive out here tonight. He won't look back. You know, he's been a lucky boy today when he looks at the decisions. Penalty for us at a key stage, 2-1, and then and not to overturn his decision. The fourth official stood by me. He didn't think it was a penalty straight away. And he's got a great angle. We're looking right at it. He's trying to come from behind players because he's not out with play. Disappointing.
How expensive has it been? You had a few knocks there, most notably Terence Van Cooten.
Well, Jordan Roberts was ill in the warm-up, so we said we'd try, we'd start, but it became apparent after 2 minutes that he wasn't quite right, and so we had to take him off, and Terence just felt a real tightness in his hamstring, whether it's cramp, whether it's hamstring strain. We won't notice tomorrow, but he's pretty sore, but we get good options in there. We got JT come on today, a bit nervous to start with, but then became composed. And we got Michael Boswick desperate to get on the pitch. So we've got some good options.
What's it seems like in the changing room? How have the players reacted to it?
I think they're disappointed with the decisions. I think it's a bit big decisions that, you know, no player in that dressing room, other than the kid who gives it away cheap in the edge of the box for the second goal, can say about that, really, because it happens. You know, he doesn't mean to give it away, but he gives it away, and that happens. That's a mistake. It's a genuine error. But I think they're questioning what the motives were running about that pitch today when the penalty's given. I think they're questioning the motives. They're entitled to question it when people see it back, and people will maybe try and defend it. But it's just harmful to my players and the professionalism running about saying, "I've got that wrong." 3-1 away at Stoke and a cup tie and the magnitude of the 5th round waiting. But you know, as I said, you've got a big game next week and been told he's done well.
I'd like today, Steve.
Thank you.